What's going on out there? Real MVPs, Brandon Swanson here to go game by game, predicting how the Green Bay Packers are going to end up this season. So I know everyone was either really happy or really upset when Tony Romo came out and said, I think the Green Bay Packers go 13-3 this year. All right, Tony, slow the roll. The Packers will probably be good, but 13-3 might be a little high. But you'll see. So let's start it off. Week 1, the schedule makers did no favors to the Chicago Bears by making them on the road at Lambeau week 1. The Chicago Bears will, yes, you'd like to think, be improved with what they did in the offseason, but not enough to be able to get the Green Bay Packers, and certainly not at home. The Green Bay Packers get that first one from the Bears. Week 2 for the Packers, though, things get real very fast. They play the Minnesota Vikings again at home, but this is a Minnesota Viking team that they were this close. They were this close to going to the Super Bowl. And by this close, I mean by the game that they got into, not by the score of that game, though, of course, we do have to remember. Isn't that right, Ricky Widmer? But in this week, week 2, the Minnesota Vikings have Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is darn good. And I just see the Minnesota Vikings winning this game early on in the season. I know it's on the road, it's in Green Bay, but I think the Minnesota Vikings and everything that they've got offensively, they get back an outstanding running back. They have a good defense. Things are looking good for the Minnesota Vikings. They're probably going to have themselves a darn good season. They get the win at Green Bay. Week 3, Green Bay on the road at Washington. Washington added a couple of things at running back, and I think they're a little bit more solid there. They added a very solid quarterback, in my opinion, with Alex Smith, but Green Bay still gets him. Week 4, the Buffalo Bills come into town, into Lambeau. Buffalo made the playoffs last year for the first time since the 1800s. Just kidding, but it felt about that long, I think, for everyone, including Buffalo Bills fans. But while they were improved, and Buffalo will continue to improve and look better, the Green Bay Packers are at home, and they're just a better team. They're a better team, and you may wonder, well, what do you mean they're a better team? Well, they've got Aaron Rodgers back. You know, none of this Brett Headley stuff, you know, Headley. Actually, no one cares what his name is, but it is Brett Hundley. You have now a plethora of running backs that showed you a lot of potential last season and that you'll be able to use again throughout this year. You have no more Jordy Nelson, and I know a lot of people with the Packers, they love Jordy. That was their guy, behind Aaron Rodgers, of course. And not having Jordy Nelson anymore and knowing that he's still playing somewhere else, it does break hearts. But they'll get over it because you get Jimmy Graham. How about it? 10 touchdowns last year with the Seattle Seahawks. Jimmy Graham is an outstanding addition to what was already a pretty darn good Packer offense. And then Devontae Adams is going to just continue to shine. If he can stay away from injury and no more concussions, this guy is going to have a terrific season and a breakout season. When I say breakout season, you may go, what do you mean, breakout season? The guy's been really good. He's going to have a breakout season in yards and in touchdowns. Wait for it. He will. Week 5, Green Bay on the road in Detroit. While Detroit is going to be improved, in my opinion, certainly on the offensive side, they get Kerryon Johnson. It's a good draft pick at running back. Detroit needs to find a running game. And hopefully they have, but Green Bay has already found all of that faster. So they win week 5. Week 6, the Green Bay Packers are back playing at home. They're playing against the San Francisco 49ers. Folks, call me crazy, and you will. I love the San Francisco 49ers this season, and they win. Week 7, it's the bye week. Packers go 4-2 heading into the bye. Coming out of the bye, it's 2 tough games on the road. The first one, it's in LA. You're playing the Los Angeles Rams. Another team. I love the Rams. I think it's outstanding. They're going to be a great team again this year. The Rams should get back to the playoffs. They just gave a great contract to Todd Gurley, and everything they have going there is really good. If Gurley repeats his numbers from last season, it's going to be tough for people to not be high on the Rams as the season goes on. I think they get the win. Week 9, Green Bay goes into New England. Is Tom Brady still with the Patriots? The answer would be yes. Is Rob Gronkowski still with the Patriots? The answer would be yes. Patriots win. Duh. Week 10, the Miami Dolphins head into Lambeau. That's just goes without saying, but I will say it. Green Bay wins. Week 11, you're on the road at Seattle. I'm really down on Seattle. They have lost so many defensive pieces, or if they still have them, they're old and using a cane. And Green Bay is going to win that game, even if it's in Seattle. Week 12, you're on the road in Minnesota. And I think that Green Bay splits with the Vikings. Now, maybe it flip-flops. Maybe Green Bay wins the first one at home and the Vikings win their game at home. But I have, obviously, the Vikings winning in Green Bay and Green Bay winning in Minnesota. I think they could go either way on what game it is, but I do think they split. Week 13, the Arizona Cardinals come to town. While, yes, they drafted a quarterback, they still say they're going to go with Sam Bradford. That's a stupid opinion. That's a stupid thing in my opinion. And Green Bay is going to win. While I don't think Sam Bradford is going to still be the starting quarterback at that time, it still doesn't make sense to me. The Arizona Cardinals, while they're trying to get better, they're still going to be trying. And David Johnson, if he's still dealing with injuries, if he's not right, if he's not 100%, Arizona is not going to be in the position that they want to be. They're getting better, but they're still a year, maybe 2 or more out. Week 14, the Atlanta Falcons into Green Bay. This is usually a really exciting game. When these two teams have met, the scores have been high. Green Bay is at home. I'll give them the edge, and the Packers win. Week 15, you play on the road in Chicago. You sweep the Bears this season. Again, the Bears are an improving team, but they're not there yet. They're not there yet, I don't think, to compete at the level that the Packers are at. And the Packers are outstanding. I haven't even talked about their defense. Their defense is something that Mike McCarthy wants to see vastly improve. He's said he's tired of seeing the defense looked at as the stepchild. They're tired of being looked at as the stepchild. That's why they went out and they got Jair Alexander and Josh Jackson. They drafted those two guys for the secondary, which has been one of the biggest crutches for the, excuse me, not crutches, but kind of things that have hurt the Green Bay Packers. Certainly not a crutch. Week 16, you're playing on the road at the Jets. Again, like the Dolphins game, you shouldn't have to say it, but the Green Bay Packers win it. And then in Week 17, in a game that's probably not going to mean a whole lot for the Packers, the Lions win. So, with all that said, I've got the Green Bay Packers going 11-5. They're a playoff team, and I think that's a pretty fair assessment of how things will go. Will people disagree with me and think that they should be higher and that they are going to go 13-3? Probably. But I think that's a pretty fair assessment of where the Green Bay Packers are. An improved defense, an offense that gets back Aaron Rodgers, should be healthy. He was saying that he was healthy towards the end of last season. I don't think he was. I would have sat him the entire time, but now you've got a guy who's hopefully going to be completely healthy and hopefully is as good as the last time he returned from injury. That was a pretty good season for Mr. Rodgers and his neighborhood. His offensive line is looking like an offensive line that is hopefully solid and hopefully doesn't deal with injury. Offensively, already talked about them. I think that they're going to be solid. Defensively, look for this defense to look a whole lot better. While it may not be vast improvements, you'll certainly be able to notice them. It'll be noticeable improvements from this defense. So again, the Green Bay Packers 11-5. You can go and check out this preview that I believe Ricky and Mark did. One of them did. Somebody did it. Make sure to check that out, the preview for the Green Bay Packers as well, especially if you liked this video. And we've got more of these coming up, so make sure you keep things tuned in on MVP. We have more prediction videos coming in the coming days, coming weeks. NFL football is just about back, actually. Just a day away, I think. Wow, that's exciting. That'll get someone real excited. Thanks so much for tuning in, folks. Keep it right here on MVP for everything sporting news.